One Piece, 10 facts about the series even hardcore fans forgot about. One Piece has gathered the kind of popularity few anime can dream of. But since it's been a while, wonder how many of these facts you remember. There have been many popular anime series over the decades. But very few have managed to achieve the kind of worldwide popularity of series like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, and One Piece. When it comes to One Piece specifically, the series is closing in on 1,000 episodes, and it all started when the manga's first chapter debuted in the summer of 1997. After more than 2 decades, Eiichiro Oda's acclaimed series is still a long way from finishing. And it is now the most popular series of all time with millions of fans all over the world, most of whom began watching the series when they were children. Even the most hardcore fans do not know everything about the series. And this article will try to fill in a few facts that even they may not be aware of. 10. Sanji originally had a more famous name. For over a decade One Piece and Naruto battled it out to see which was the more popular series, and for a time Oda was at odds with Masashi Kishimoto. Believe it or not, this was caused because of Sanji, who was supposed to have a very different name. Originally, the Straw Hat's cook was supposed to be named Naruto, but when Kishimoto began work on his series, he named his main character Naruto as a way to compete with Oda, who decided to rename the character in order to avoid confusion. 9. The meaning behind Impel Down. In One Piece, Impel Down is a massive underwater prison which holds some of the world's most powerful pirates, but the design of the prison actually takes inspiration from a famous piece of classic Italian literature. That piece is known as the Divine Comedy, and it depicts the 9 circles of hell as a structure that is very similar to Impel Down. Both of these structures have multiple levels. And they both follow the same rules, as the lower levels are reserved for those who committed truly severe crimes, and the lower you go, the more tortuous your experience becomes. 8. The historical pirate references. Oda created One Piece because he was fascinated by real-life pirates, which is why the series is filled with historical references. The most notable is Coarse Blackbeard, which was the famous nickname associated with Edward Teach. Bartholomew Kuma is named after Bartholomew Roberts, the most successful pirate during the golden age of piracy, while Jewelry Bonnie is named after Anne Bonnier, famous Irish pirate. Even Gold Roger is based on Olivier Levasseur, French pirate who left a clue to his hidden treasure during his public execution. 7. The real-life memorials. To this date, the Summit War at Marineford is the single biggest event in One Piece history, as it permanently changed the entire landscape of the series. During the war, Luffy lost his brother Ace, and the impact of that moment still haunts some fans to this day. The war also saw the death of Whitebeard, the strongest man in the world and Ace's father figure. Both of these men were big names in the series, and they were both buried with respect and with their own monuments. The image of these monuments was so iconic that Universal Studios Japan created real-life replicas of them. And they come with a listening area that includes several of the characters' famous lines. 6. The meaning behind the first chapter's title. Shortly after finishing high school, Oda went to work for Weekly Shonen Jump, where he worked on several well-known series such as Mizu no Tomodachi Kappamon, Jungle King Tarchan, and Rurouni Kenshin. After gaining some much-needed experience, Oda was able to publish his first work in 1996, and this came in the form of a one-shot series called Romance Dawn. He had initially come up with the story while in high school, and it featured Luffy with his iconic hat. This was One Piece's launching pad, which is why the first chapter of the series is named after it. 5. The connection with the fashion industry. The anime and fashion industries are completely different, but when a series is as popular as One Piece, anything can happen. In 2009, Luffy became the first manga character to grace the cover of Men's Non-No, a Japanese fashion magazine, and Oda was the one who designed Luffy's look. 2012 saw the release of One Piece Film Z. And in order to promote the movie, the series partnered with AX Armani Exchange to promote a nautical-themed clothing line. Several of the straw hats modeled outfits that Oda picked out himself. And those outfits were made available to the public. 4. Tokyo One Piece Tower. Both Disney and Universal have theme parks dedicated to their most popular franchises, but there are hardly any theme parks dedicated to one franchise in particular. Minato-ku, Tokyo was home to an indoor park known as Tokyo One Piece Tower, and it was a One Piece fan's dream. The park came with its own themed restaurants and games, and it also had large-scale sculptures and replica ships. And it even included recreations of some of the series' most iconic scenes. Unfortunately, the global pandemic destroyed the park's revenue, and it was forced to close its doors last month. 3. Luffy is an Olympic ambassador. Luffy is the heart and soul of the series, to the point that he is recognizable all over the world, which is why he was used in a fashion campaign. But at this point in time he is much more than a pop culture symbol. He is actually a major part of Japan's identity. This year's Summer Olympics was supposed to be held in Tokyo. But they had to be delayed for obvious reasons. Every Olympics has official ambassadors, and Luffy was given that honor alongside other popular anime characters such as Sailor Moon, Astro Boy, Naruto, and Goku. 2. Oda always wanted to be a manga artist. Most people dream about becoming an astronaut, doctor, or veterinarian, but Oda had a very different dream. According to an interview in the One Piece Blue, Grand Data file, Oda was 4 years old when he decided to become a manga artist, and he came to this decision because he wanted to avoid getting a real job. He began working towards this dream in earnest in his late teens, which is when he completed Wanted, a story which earned him several awards. One Piece came into being a few years later. 1. The series was supposed to end years ago. One Piece has been around for so long that the idea of it eventually coming to an end seems absurd, but fans of the series should be happy that it has gone on this long because Oda originally planned to end the story a lot earlier. The original plan was to finish the series by 2002, which means that Oda had roughly 5 years worth of stories to tell, and that is the reason why he already has the ending prepared. Luckily, this timeline changed as the story became more fleshed out with Oda adding more and more characters and battles.